Alrighty. Hi everyone, welcome to our very special live National Ag Week Farmer Time session. My name's Jane and I'm speaking to you from Wathaurong country. I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. All right, now I'm going to hand over to our producer Georgia very shortly, but before I do that, I would like to say thank you to the Department of Agriculture, Water and Environment for funding this project. Alrighty, now thank you so much for joining us today, Georgia. We're so excited to hear from you. I'm going to pass over to Georgia Beattie from Bulla Park Organic Mushroom Farm. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. It's my absolute pleasure to be in your classrooms today. So my name's Georgia Beattie. I'm speaking to you here from Bulla Park, our mushroom farm. It's the largest organic mushroom farm in Australia. So we are only 30 minutes from the Melbourne CBD. And so we're quite close to the city farm. And that's all because mushrooms have, we go to the our mushroom sort of DC or say the market twice a day. So we grow mushrooms and we have to send them to market straight away. So that means that mushrooms have to be quite close to where people want to consume them. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I haven't come from a farming background. I actually, my father's a winemaker, which is a little bit different, but mushrooms were completely new. And I've only been a mushroom farmer for 2 years. And this was a really conscious effort for me because I didn't have much purpose in the technology job that I had. And I really didn't love my day-to-day job and career. So I made a decision that I wanted to follow my heart with my career and contribute to growing healthy, clean food. And so organic mushrooms were number one for me because that makes my tummy settle, and it's sort of my daily sort of nutrients, I guess. Mushrooms are also a very sustainable product, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So just to give you an idea of our farm, I'm gonna take you into one of our mushroom rooms very shortly, but we grow about 10 tonne of mushrooms per week. And so that, depending on the size of your classroom, but say if there's sort of 30 people in the classroom, it would fill about 2 of your classrooms per week full of mushrooms. So that's a lot of mushrooms. So what happens to these mushrooms after they leave our farm is they then get distributed into all of the supermarkets right around Australia. So that's Coles and Woolworths and your fresh organic grocer. If you find an organic mushroom on your shelf, it'll most likely be from our farm. So that's a little bit about our farm. Now, I want to tell you about mushrooms, and a couple of things that many people don't realize is that this mushroom and this mushroom are actually the same mushroom, but they're 12 hours apart on the mushroom bed. So this we call a button, and this we call a flat or a portobello. And so what happens with mushrooms is that the longer we leave them on the mushroom bed, the more they keep growing. And so what we do is we pick directly for our customers. So they might say that they want buttons. So we make sure we go out and our harvest team pick mushroom buttons, or they might say they want portobellos, bigger ones. And so these are the ones you have with your eggs on the weekend, and it's also a good sort of meat replacement. You can pretend it's a steak or something when you're wanting to have a nice clean day of eating. So the way these are grown is in compost. And so compost is a mixture of straw that we put some chicken poo in, which is our nitrogen source, and we mix it all around for 7 weeks, and then it comes to our farm. So we've got our compost farm is actually up in Bendigo. So it makes the trip an hour to get to our farm, and we put it into our mushroom beds, and we leave it in there so the whole cycle is 32 days, but by about the sort of 14th day, you'll start seeing these on the bed. And so we'll be able to start picking. And so that's on the 14th day, but then say on the 15th or 16th day, they'll look like this. And so they just keep growing and growing and growing. And so the full cycle is 32 days, and we grow white mushrooms and brown mushrooms, which is, there's basically two breeds. The white one, oh, that's the brown one, sorry, and then the white one, which looks like this. So we try to keep things super simple on the mushroom farm, and they're the main varieties, and they have lots of different names, but really they're sort of the names refer to the size and the amount of time we leave them on the mushroom bed. Because we're organic, the only thing we put on our mushroom beds is water, and they're all hand watered. And so that's about us being super connected to what's going on in the mushroom growing room, which is kept at 18 degrees, a high humidity. And so what we're doing is actually replicating what happens in nature. So have you ever noticed that around about the end of summer, as the weather starts getting a bit colder, you start to see mushrooms pop up in your garden or maybe in the forest? What's happening there is the mushroom says that, so the mushroom, which we call mycelium, which is the sort of underground mushrooms, are in the soil, and they feel, oh, winter's coming, we better quickly share our seeds, which we call spawn, so that we can have more, so that we can reproduce for next year, right? And so what they do is just before winter, they pop up like this, and then they turn in to this. And what these gills are on the inside, we call them gills, all right? So what happens is when the mushroom opens up, it lets off all these seeds, and the seeds, the spawn, go onto the ground. And this means that during winter, they'll go to sleep, and then when spring comes, they'll pop up again. And so this means that it's sort of like the fight of the fittest, and it means that they can keep living each year. And so that's what we do on the mushroom bed. So in a 32-day cycle, we make the mycelium think that winter's coming, and so it goes from 18 degrees, and then we sort of bring it down to 16 degrees, and that's when the mushrooms shoot up. And so we'll then sort of increase the temperature so that they're super happy. They love high humidity and lots of water. And that's what we do in a 32-day cycle. And you'll find that lots of farming we're just imitating something that happens naturally in nature. And so we want to be sort of as natural as possible in the way we produce our food. So yeah, all right. So that's a sort of the life cycle and the sort of the time that it takes to grow mushrooms. What I'm going to do is I'll take you around the farm and I'll show you some of our biodegradable packaging. What we also do so for every 1 kilo of mushrooms that we grow, we have 4 kilos of compost. And so what we do with that is send it to other farms to start soil regeneration projects. So the mycelium in the soil is kind of like the internet for plants. And so that's how they transfer water and nutrients. And they also, like, plants will send a message along the mycelium and say, hey, there's like aphids here, or there's a lot of bees over here, like quickly throw some sap around. And so this is their sort of network, and I call it their internet. And so the more we can, if some soil has had lots of sort of pesticides and fungicides sprayed on it for a long time, that's the kind of soil we want to start regenerating so that it can create its mushroom network again. And so that's what we do with our compost each week. So we have about sort of 40 ton of that per week, which we then drop to particular mushroom farms, not mushroom farms, other vegetable farms. And anyone's more than welcome to come out and pick up some compost for their gardens and things in Diggers Rest. You can find our website on Google, I'm sure. So I'll show you around our packaging, and I might take you for a little bit of a look into our mushroom farm. A warning that all of the harvest team are in there, so everyone's going to be sort of a little bit busy, so I'll make it like a quick one. And if anyone jumps on and has any questions, please throw them out there. Jane, is there anything else you would like me to cover?
No, I think that's spot on, Georgia. Thank you
Okay.
so much. This is amazing.
All right, cool. Come with me, guys. One thing I didn't talk about, which I will on my way, is what I love about farming. And really, the number one thing is that I get to create sustainable food. And so if you have a look, particularly as climate change is a big topic, really, mushrooms are grown indoors, and they're actually a perfect product. Before I go in, the radio is very loud. I'll finish this chat. It's actually a perfect product to that's going to be able to withstand climate change, because we can put solar panels on the roof and we can grow indoors and make it quite sustainable. Have a look here. So see these mushroom stalks. So the mushroom that you get has actually had this. Where's the camera? There we go. Has had this chopped off. And so this is what our harvest team picks out of the soil. So you can see the peat there. And then it's chopped off here before it's then sent to you. What we do with this is feed other animals. And so we've got some sheep nearby, but then other farmers are able to come and pick this up and use this as a feedstock. So what we want to be doing is every bit of waste that we create, we want to be reusing to be as sustainable as possible. So this is collected, and Robbie here is like he'll drive the big loader out. That's called a loader, this particular truck. We'll drive it out to the sheep or the cow or another farm nearby. All right, so I'm going to take you into the farm. It's very loud, but bear with me. All right, okay. So these are the brown mushrooms that I showed you. So, hey everyone! All right, so everyone's busy working away. I think I'm going to run out of reception if I went in, but you can see in each room there's 200 square meters and 10 levels. So it's what you call vertical farming. And here's some of the mushrooms there. So yeah, I'm going to show you one, and this might be a white note. Oh, here we go. So you can see in there, there's some white mushrooms. I want to take you in there, but it might run out of reception. Okay, let's just try, but it might run out. All right, ready? All right, we cut out. Sorry, hopefully you got a little bit of a taste of what happens in the mushroom. Were you able to see that, Jane, or did it cut out?
No, we could see a little bit, but then it cut out.
Yeah. So what's happening there is, because they're indoors and it's all sort of humidity protected, we do get bad reception in there, which is a bit sad. But kind of good, because it means you can't be on your phone all the time. So sometimes a bit of technology cleansing is a good thing. All right, so we're back in my office. I am available to answer any questions. If anyone is thinking about being a mushroom farmer, my door is always open. I've made this jump in my career, and every day is a good day. I just love what I do. I have really happy staff that also love what they do. And yeah, so it's sort of, in terms of purpose and my contribution to the world, I'm really well aligned. And I just want to also say that farming, like, we're actually a really high-tech farm. And so you can be sort of technology and smart and fast. It doesn't need to be sort of on a tractor all day. There's lots of different types of farming. So food's going to be a really important thing going forward in Australia, and we need all of the smart, creative people to solve some of the bigger problems we might face in the future. So I think it's a really cool space, and I welcome you to come and visit my farm. But thank you very much for letting me in your classrooms today.
Thank you so much for that, Georgia. That was phenomenal. I'm so keen to pop out to Bulla Park for a visit and check out the mushroom growing
Do
room.
it.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and we hope you have a very happy National Ag Week.
Thank you. You too. My absolute pleasure.
All right, Annie, we can probably cut it there. Thank you. All right, amazing. Thank you, Georgia. That was so good. That was really good.
Cool.